Good evening and welcome to Starfire in Tukwila, where this evening in the 2A state championship game, it's the ANACORTES Seahawks against the SELAH Vikings. Danny Bach joined alongside Tim Luce as we're set to go in a rematch of last year's semifinal game that was won in the end by SELAH on their way to this game. The state championship, Tim Luce, you take a look at a rematch that was a year's worth in the making. What comes into mind in a game like this?
Well, it was a rematch that ended in overtime, so I definitely expect to see the same tightness between the two teams here tonight. One most noticeable thing is the roster size. SELAH coming into the night with a considerably larger roster than the Seahawks of ANACORTES. Ironman Lacrosse, the Seahawks have had to play all season long. A couple of studs on roster, one being an All-American in Emmett Johnston, who carries the offense in points this season. The other will be closely behind him is, 36 Connor Snyder, the junior. Over at SELAH, they've got a handful of talent over there as well, a fine mixture of upper and underclassmen. Senior Seth Melton and Noah Wamsley, both of those guys are going to be ones to keep your eye on throughout the night as both netminders take their positions in the crease. We're a face-off away from 2A state championship here at Starfire Sports in Tukwila. This is STSPN Live.
One of these teams is assured to win their first state championship in program history. Glad you're with us on STSPN. In for the opening faceoff, Mason Snyder for ANACORTES. And the 2A state championship game is underway. Off the loose draw as a vacant stick took place.
A little yard sale action there caused by 47 Snyder.
Mason Snyder, one of the leading goal scorers for this ANACORTES team as they patrol from the left wing side across with Connor Snyder.
Leading in goal scoring and a freshman. And there it is right
and
there.
And they score out of the gate. What a find. Mason Snyder opens the scoring for ANACORTES.
Right on the doorstep front with an assist from Caleb Smale. Here it is in the replay. Smale right on the doorstep, score.
So with Smale behind the net, he adds his 7th assist of the season. And that gives ANACORTES a 1-0 lead. Head coach Brady Turnage for ANACORTES, when asked upon the size of his team, he said, "You watch us play." And we saw that right out of the gate.
Well, that's one thing that the Seahawks have. It's a good offense. Where they struggle a little bit is fresh poles on defense. So we'll see what happens in transition when SELAH takes the offensive approach on the other end of the field. But so far here in the first, it's been all ANACORTES as they posture again from behind the cage.
From the outside with Mason Snyder. Retreats against the defending Samuel Fredrickson. Here's Emmett Johnston. 37 goals this year for ANACORTES. From the outscores, long bid, they score! Loden Witten.
Loden Witten loads one up and a pole goal on the board. I think that's the first one we've seen in the last 2 championships.
So Loden Witten finds the back of the net with a pair of goals that are scored barely 2 minutes in. Here's the long bid from Witten, or the after effects of it. So off the face-off, on the deck, Ian Ziegler maneuvered it away. Away goes Mason Snyder yet again.
Snyder wins the clamp and possession.
So here's Johnston from behind the net. Smale out towards the left side for Connor Snyder. The return to feed for Smale again. Nobody open at the moment for ANACORTES. Connor Snyder. Out to the top. Brendan Cutter. Here's Emmett Johnston. Headed to Navy. In several years, he's only a junior. Connor Snyder. What a shot! They score! Mason Snyder again!
Holy moly, this young man cannot be stopped. You got to get that net out of his hand because he's going to score with it every time. A freshman here in the 2A state championship, keeping his team on top.
Talking about making a difference early on, already a 3-0 lead. Head coach Brady Turnage started the ANACORTES program 5 seasons ago. They have a 3-0 lead. Off the draw, scrapped on by Ziegler. He emerges away with a loose ball on gaining entry for the first time for SELAH since opening possession.
Now we'll be able to get a good look at that ANACORTES defense. We've seen all offense so far from ANACORTES. It'll be interesting to see what they pull out here.
Fredrickson sent it to the top. Anthony Ellis has time to work with. Out towards the right wing. From the right, GLE. Surveyed by Blake Flowers. Drifting from behind the net. Flowers sent a pass through the middle, vultured away by Brendan Cutter for ANACORTES. This is a story in a SELAH team. They got trounced by Bainbridge last year in the 1A, 2A championship. Kotchel sent for the pivoting Connor Snyder. Awaiting is Smale. Obliging on the pass, Emmett Johnston. From the right side, got Jack Ward out wide. He reels in the pass. Kotchel with Mason Snyder emerging from the bench. Given across, Kotchel. From the right side for Emmett Johnston as he awaits. Emmett Johnston. Lefty shot, Snyder pivots, return feed for Johnston again. Emmett Johnston scores!
That extra stutter step. When you think he's going to pull the trigger at first, he steps in one more. You'll see it here in the replay. Here it is. Johnston from the top steps in. Nope, steps in again. Bingo! Right to the back of the net. Emmett Johnston, the junior All-American, taking ANACORTES up now by 4. 8:10 left to go in the first.
Quick start for ANACORTES and for SELAH. How do they calm the waters? They don't want another championship game to get away from them. Claimed successfully by Ziegler. Ian Ziegler for SELAH. Heads to the bench. Worked on the top. Thanks to Samuel Fredrickson. Out to the top. Ellis awaits. Anthony Ellis turns against the grain. Dish from behind the net. From the left side. Drifting in front. Score! Grady Andrews. SELAH on the scoreboard.
Wow, that one was well timed into the turf. Bar down into the back of the net. And SELAH breaks the ice. Here it is, wrapping right across. Tapped into the turf. Right over the goalie. And just like that, it's 4-1, 7:28 in the first.
38th goal of the season for Grady Andrews. Off the draw. SELAH able to win it again. Asher Myers, not quite, however. before it could be scooped up by Noah Walmsley momentarily. Going against pressure from Gabriel Cox. Talk about the physicality level that's influenced. A timeout called. 7:12 to go. In the opening quarter, ANACORTES jumping out to a 4-0 lead, and SELAH responds back after this on STSPN. $7:12 remaining in the first quarter. Danny Yvonne, pleasure to be joined alongside Tim Luce. Talk about the energy level. You mentioned the numbers from the top for ANACORTES, and head coach Brady Turner said, watch how we play. How have they played so far?
Well, you know, as long as they maintain possession, they've been playing pretty well. So when the ball comes down to this side of the field for SELAH, it does change things up just a little bit. So where strength typically will come in numbers, ANACORTES is doing a great job at keeping the lead despite not having the depth in roster.
Out towards the left wing side for Tanner Onika. Ellis. Sent wide towards the right wing side. We're going to be surveyed by Blake Flowers. Dish from behind the net. Flowers. Drifting from in behind. Flowers centers in front, and what a save made on the effort by Hawkinson. And the rebound stashed in. What a
they'll say a crease violation
Crease
there.
violation.
No goal.
So James Hawkinson, beg your pardon, with the entry from ANACORTES. Taking a tumble was Garrett Swain.
Push will get called there against SELAH, and they're going to put a knee in the penalty box. First one of the game.
I had to imagine we would see a level of physicality, especially from a SELAH team. And you can commend both ends of the equation of being a workman-type team.
Championship lacrosse, Danny, it's going to be high stakes all the way through. Both these teams fighting for the title. And currently, man up on a power play, ahead by 3.
Smale from the outside. Connor Snyder retreats. From the right side for Smale again. In tight, they score!
Nope, that's a mom goal. That one's to the side of the net. Everybody gets excited, except for the one shooting the goal on that one. It hit the side of the net.
Cutter out wide, a shot that was missed by Smale.
They call it a mom goal because the moms get excited. They think it went in.
Including the announcer here.
Out
high, surveyed by Connor Snyder. Mason Snyder on the return to feed. Connor again. Brendan Cutter sets up Emma Johnston from behind the net. Pass that hit behind the net, out of the reach of Emma Johnston. Countered by Brendan Cutter again.
I've never seen that before. It looked like he was sending a pass to himself off the back of the cage. I'm like, all right, that works.
Smale kicked out high. Connor Snyder regains a loose ball with a check. The ball comes loose. Loden Whitten already scored a 1 goal from out high. Here's Connor Snyder. Sets up Brendan Cutter. To the top. One-timer bid is vacuumed up by Seth Melton.
slow bouncer into the net of Melton, who's now out of the crease looking for an outlet. He finds it.
Grady Andrews, the outlet, past Lowton Witten. Has scored SELAH's lone goal so far today. Fredrickson. Flag flies. Two of which.
That's an offside call against ANACORTES, so they'll just keep the other man in play. They've already got the penalty, now double the ball.
Fredrickson fires wide of the goal. A third fly.
And
Takes
no doubt
flight.
They'll give him a slash call on top of it.
So an opportunity awaits for SELAH.
Yeah, much needed power play here to try and at least take it to within 2.
Boy, was that desperately needed. Fourth with 5:06 remaining in the first. As Grady Andrews awaits from behind the net. Andrews trots. Dealt towards the left side. Out to the top from Onika. Across from Fredrickson. On the right side. Surveyed by Grady Andrews. Hard pass, Onika to the top. Fredrickson fires! Vacuumed and sealed. Loose on the deck. Still available before it can be claimed by SELAH. And Tanner Onika to the top. Fredrickson. Right side for Blake Flowers. Grady Andrews from behind the net. To the top. One-timer score! Sam Fredrickson.
Hokeson got his net up thinking that one was going to bounce higher. That's just one of the problems with these turf shots. When they bounce off the turf, there's no telling how high or low that ball is going to bounce, so it's a really tough shot to predict. That one right down the middle into the back of the net. And ANACORTES extends their lead now 5-1 with 3:37 left.
How different is it to play on a surface similar to this one as opposed to the fields that these teams are accustomed to playing? As we return our way in.
So the difference, Danny, is just like golf, right? When you get into the rough, that ball's going to sit. Oh,
from
right.
the top, surveyed upon by Asher Myers.
Folks, I stand corrected. It is 4-2, the last goal. SELAH.
Here's Sam Fredrickson. As he trots in. From the left wing side. With 3 minutes remaining in the first. ANACORTES scored first 4. SELAH has countered the last 2. Right side, dealt from behind the net. Andrews awaits. Out to the top. Sam Fredrickson again. Cooked one wide of the goal.
You sounded like your voice went with the ball there, Danny. It's
Andrews.
It's an exciting game.
Grady Andrews stopped by Hokeson. And with 2:32 to go. In the end, possession.
I'm guessing that was an interference called on Hokeson.
Hokeson had one left by Logan Witten. Logan Witten, beg your pardon. Now to the top, where SELAH can return with Anthony Ellis. Out wide to the left wing for Samuel Fredrickson. Their step to the outside. Fredrickson turns, shoots, and the stop is made by Hokeson.
Hands-free shot to the far side alley, bouncing off the turf and saved by Hokeson. Now looking behind the cage for an outlet, calling for it near side.
That's Caleb
Fritz.
Fritz on the move.
Fritz across midfield. Fritz, he's in touch.
Left wing side, out of the reach of that Caleb Smale, who handles to the top for Brendan Cutter. With Mason Snyder returning into the game. Cutter awaits, dished for Jack Ward. From the right wing for Emma Johnston. Behind net, Smale. Over the official's head, winding shot was blocked. Good effort on the play by Tyler Huff. Finds another effort, was denied. Now to the top, Emma Johnston. He awaits. Smale drifts, center, score! Emmett Johnston, his second goal of the game.
Well, and it looked like third time's a charm. That was, the first two takes stopped. Seth Melton doing a great job standing in the crease. They get the rebound, stops them again. But then to final right here, right in front of the door, quick stick.
Give Smale the effort with the helper. A 5-2 lead for ANACORTES. As we wind our way towards the final minute of the opening quarter here in the 2A state championship. Off the face-off. It can finally be claimed, not quite, by ANACORTES. Into the attacking zone. Possession awarded for the already leading ANACORTES side. Garrett Swain looks to evade on the entry. Now towards the right wing for Brendan Cutter. Hard pass, right wing. Emmett Johnston from behind the net. Smale dished towards the left wing. Connor Snyder dished low. Smale heads towards the front. Johnston looks to center. Emmett Johnston to the top. Anchored by Cutter. Left side, intercepted. Picked off by Seth Melton, who sent a pass off the ground ball claimed by Caleb Fritz. Long pass, and another great defensive read by Tyler Huffines leads us to the end of the first quarter. ANACORTES with a 5-2 lead on SELAH. Second quarter at the other end of the break on STSPN.
Marines are made for this. Made for the calling only warriors can answer. Made from an unshakable belief in our nation and a strength that comes from the determination to win together. But you'll have to earn your place among us, because you don't join the Marines. You become one.
We don't really think about it until this happens. Don't get backed up. Call AWESCO Septic Service. They are the sustainable, environmentally friendly choice. AWESCO uses a recycling process that returns clear, clean water. They offer septic service and repair for both King and Snohomish counties. AWESCO Septic Service is a local, family-owned business, so you can count on reliable, environmentally friendly service. Call them today.
Turn you for the start of the second quarter, and an illegal stick against SELAH, a la Marty McSorley for those that know. But with this stoppage, now with the penalty on SELAH, the mountain is starting to rise even higher for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just it's putting ANACORTES in a position that SELAH wants to keep them out of in these power plays, and they're really going to have to step up defensively to shut that down.
What would it take in order for SELAH to shut down an ANACORTES team that has been cooking on all cylinders? And you talk about the wait that it takes before the postseason started. Regular season ended April the 24th for ANACORTES. They had to wait until May the 9th for the postseason to start.
You talk about a very young roster as well. I was talking with one of the coaches from ANACORTES earlier, and this is the second season only for Hokeson standing in crease. So a tough job, and then being a underclassman and relatively new to the game, he's doing a great job.
Fantastic effort from second-year player, starting in the state championship, hoping for more. Smale from behind the net. Here's Emmett Johnston. With plenty of time to work with. And with ANACORTES on the power play. Through contact, they score! What an effort!
No goal, no goal. He was in the crease.
In the crease was the call.
It's a tough one. You got to watch for the officials to give you the signal, because we don't have a great view of the crease from way up here.
Meanwhile, here comes ANACORTES, as they are still short-handed. Back the other way. Rather, SELAH is. Claimed in the end. Garrett Swain. ANACORTES again on the entry.
Emmett Johnston, toe taps in touch for ANACORTES, now slowly getting his breath back in his chest and setting up the offense for the Seahawks.
Smale, centering pass, they score! Mason Snyder, the freshman, with a hat trick in the state championship.
Mason Snyder, the freshman, finding his hands free, wide open once again, then finding two defenders to shoot on. Snyder having an outing here in the 2A state championships.
On a 6-2 scoreline that comes on the power play. SELAH, you're in a position where you've got to come away with the next goal. You don't want this game to get away from you. Off the face-off. Quickly claimed by Connor Snyder. Kick to the outside from Mason Snyder, his brother. What a 1-2 punch that is for ANACORTES. Emmett Johnston again. It came after a goal was recently disallowed.
No pressure coming from the SELAH defense.
Smale turns, centers, left side, pivoted from Matthew Lewis. Out to the top for Jack Ward. Mason Snyder took
range.
An ambitious bid. Smale for ANACORTES able to maintain possession, however. For the ANACORTES offense towards the left side. Connor Snyder. Work to the top. Jack Ward pulled it across for Mason Snyder. From the right wing. Smale from behind the net. Dished for Emmett Johnston again.
Johnston just waits patiently to find the open man.
Johnston out towards the right wing. Mason Snyder pivots, turns. Out towards the right wing, GLE. This is Emmett Johnston. Turns. Lefty shot, overcooked over the bar.
A little bit of a forced take that time, but definitely have got the coverage with, Smale in the backfield, able to win the chase and keep possession for the Seahawks.
From behind the net, surveyed upon by Smale. Given towards the left wing side to the top for Jack Ward. Flown by Connor Snyder. Smale delivers the mail to the top. Emmett Johnston scores!
Emmett Johnston with a lefty on the sweep, finds top right and takes ANACORTES up one more over SELAH here in the 2A state championships. What a rocket into the back of the net. Emmett Johnston, the All-American out of ANACORTES, putting the team on his back. That's his second of the competition, third.
That's a hat trick for the future midshipman. with 9:13 to go in the second quarter. But ANACORTES has captured a 5-goal lead. Team that would not be where they are today without the support from their community. Heavy check that leads to a flag. Mason Snyder absorbed contact. We play on with Brendan Cutter out to the recently decked Mason Snyder.
Noah Walmsley came in, the senior, and laid the wood.
Smale, centering pass, left side, skipped on the try that came from Brendan Cutter.
Physicality alone will not win this game, I can tell you that much. And that's what ANACORTES is proving here. They'll take the licking and keep on ticking, and that's what you got to do. That was kind of a, egregious there, a cross check. You had his arms fully extended. I mean, I get trying to set the defensive tone there, but that was just a little overboard, and he's going to take a knee in the penalty box because of it. So now down by 5, they set up with that penalty. They give ANACORTES the man-up opportunity to increase their lead here in the first half.
Sam Fredrickson, beg your pardon, Noah Walmsley in the box for SELAH. All this with 8:41 to go in the second quarter. Smale. Here's Brendan Cutter. Emmett Johnston awaits. Woden Witten. Cutter. Witten. Return a feed for Brendan Cutter. Negotiating through traffic was Emmett Johnston. Cutter to the top. Witten. A wind-up that is overcooked by Mason Snyder. Possession remains of ANACORTES.
Snyder was beckoning for that ball. He saw his opportunity and pass him a couple times. That take just over the crossbar out of bounds, but still, once again, backed up by ANACORTES.
Connor Snyder. Pivots to the top. A shot, and what a save made on the effort by Melton. That descends out of play. And again, possession remains with ANACORTES.
Low to high, deflected by Melton. That one sent to space. But once again, yeah, as you said, Danny, backed up by the Seahawks, who bring it in now, pressing crease near GLE.
To the top, a shot overcooked again on the try from Johnston. And again, it has been the case for ANACORTES. They have certainly played their brand of lacrosse. The protection from behind the net. Left wing side for Connor Snyder. Shot, they score! This time it's Smale. Caleb Smale on the tally.
Caleb Smale, so they're pulling that defense and they're trying to get them to bite, and they bit that time, leaving the crease wide open. Smale comes in and hooks one in the net. Here it is. STSPN Live replay, bringing you all of the day's action here from Starfire Sports in Tukwila, Washington. 7-2, ANACORTES leads over SELAH back at the dot.
So the lead for ANACORTES extended to 6.
8-2.
Off the draw. Look at the aggression from the dot from Mason Snyder. Left one behind for Caleb Fritz. Sent one across. Brendan Cutter in alone. Oh, what a stop on the effort on the try that came. Another shot, they score! Follow-up chance from Emmett Johnston.
Wide open goal. Johnston takes advantage. Netminder steps out of the crease and he gets it on the rebound. We'll see it here. Good save, rebound, wide open, goal. Emmett Johnston, United States Naval Academy commit, putting on a show for the fans here in Tukwila.
The faithful that have made the trek down from ANACORTES enjoys what they're seeing early. A 9-2 lead for ANACORTES. Off the draw, quickly sprung towards Brendan Cutter. Has been all ANACORTES up to this stage. Dealt towards the left side. Down low, a shot, they score! Connor Snyder.
Connor Snyder from the near side, goal line extended, very low angle, finds top right. You'll see it here. Nope, I'll keep it. Shot, score. Almost a bar down. He got it right under the bar there.
Not much that Seth Melton could do.
10-2. ANACORTES seemingly running away with this early in the first half.
7:03 to go in half number 1. A 10-2 contest. Off the draw, won by ANACORTES. Here's Brendan Cutter again. Towards the middle, Mason Snyder. Johnston pivots. And a one-timer bid, vacuumed up on the try from Melton, who's able to come away with a save. Now the return feed from Asher Myers. Way SELAH looks to advance. Melton threw one into a vacant point. Here comes Mason Snyder. Turns, fires! Defended well on the deck. They score! Connor Snyder with his second.
Connor Snyder with the rebound from brother Mason Snyder's shot. That one saved by a defender, picked up right here. Here it is, and put in the back of the net. No goalie in front, no one home, and ANACORTES takes the lead 11-2 with 6:24 left to go in the first half.
Nearly an ENG, you can call it. An 11-2 lead for ANACORTES. They have had their way in the 2A state championship. Off the tie-up, quickly won on the part of SELAH, and that and Asher Myers. On the deck, evading away.
Garrison Cochelle.
This Garrison Kochel left it behind. Smale. Plenty of time to work with for ANACORTES, nursing the lead 11-2. Smale awaits, dealt left wing side. Connor Snyder to the top for Garrison Kochel. Emmett Johnston, right side. Snyder shoots one that's overcooked. Possession remains of ANACORTES.
Backside of the cage, but two attackmen waiting on the end line, keeping possession for ANACORTES. This makes it easier for the Seahawks to shoot. When you've got two guys on the backfield, there's almost guaranteed you're going to win that chase. So fire away. If it's even close, rip it.
So here's Emmett Johnston. Out wide, Matthew Lewis. Smale again. Drifting to the top. Emmett Johnston spins, pivots inside, shoots and scores! What a goal from Emmett Johnston! His 5th of the game!
A one-man wrecking crew, Emmett Johnston, the All-American, rolling, dodging, and firing low to high. He'll find that one top right. Extending the lead even further now, 12-2. Seahawks lead over the Vikings.
With 5:21 to go in the first half.
5-pack for Johnston already. 5 goals. Insane in a championship game.
Impressive work. A junior that had came in having scored 37 goals on the year. He's got 42. Thanks to a 5-piece up to this point. Here comes Mason Snyder. Work towards the left wing side.
Here's another young man on his way to putting 5 pieces up today, too. Mason Snyder having a heck of a day. Both Snyder brothers, actually. Now here's the other one, Connor.
So here's Connor Snyder from behind the net. Dealt for Smale. He surveys, launched wide towards the right side. One-timer shot was missed on the try from Brendan Cutter. And possession remains with ANACORTES.
And ANACORTES playing it well. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Just taking your time. If the shot's not there, pass it along. Just keeping possession with a lead of 10 points. That's all you really need to do.
So here's Smale. Dealt from behind the net. Engaging with pressure was Anthony Ellis. Smale. Launched to the top. Emmett Johnston. Cutter. Behind the net, in front, they score! Matthew Lewis with his first goal in the state championship.
Yeah, just get that open cutter, and this time it's Anthony Lewis who finds his way and shoots in front of two defenders right on the doorstep there of Hokinson. And now ANACORTES 13-2 with 4:17 left to go in the first half.
A 13-2 lead in this game. You talk about the effort and the intensity that head coach Brady Turnage brings on a daily basis for this ANACORTES group. Away goes Ian Ziegler off the faceoff win. Racing to set up Trevor Park as SELAH looks to go on a change. Samuel Fredrickson looks to set up Blake Flowers, who heads from the right wing. Dealt across from behind the net. Ranged out wide to the left wing end. Here's Anthony Ellis, who drifts and turns and escapes. Ellis against the grain. Right wing. Drifting, a shot missed on the try that came from Blake Flowers. Possession, however, stays with SELAH. From behind the net, they score! What a shot that came from Grady Andrews, who has his second goal of the game.
Grady Andrews leading SELAH in points here in the championship game. Just gets his hands free riding around crease. Kind of almost a no-looker. He shovels it backwards into the goal. 13-3 now. ANACORTES over SELAH.
Talk about the passion about this SELAH team. Head coach Josh Davenport has brought in so much dedication into SELAH Lacrosse. Another face-off win from Ian Ziegler. Lost it on his way. Captured, however, by Blake Flowers. Pivots on the inside against Emmett Johnston. From the top. Drifting from the right wing side. Is that at Blake Flowers?
Loaded Witten in front.
Drifted by Flowers. Looks. Tanner Onika out to the top. From out high, drifting right wing. A shot that was overcooked on the try that came from Anthony Ellis. With 2:38 remaining. From behind the net. Drifting in front, they score! Grady Andrews with a hat trick. So Andrews finds the back of the net. And so the hat trick goes for Grady Andrews. So he's got 3 on the evening.
Well, that's something that ANACORTES is going to have to stay vigilant about is not letting off the gas at any time, because it shows right there SELAH will take advantage.
2:29 remaining in the first half. ANACORTES with a 13-4 lead in the 2A state championship. Off the face-off, SELAH claims their 3rd face-off win in a row. From the right wing, on the advance, impending that of Noah Walmsley. Parked into the right corner, Grady Andrews again.
Walmsley, the LSM gets things started, dishes it off to Grady Andrews, who's now traveling back behind the cage. He'll pressure.
Andrews, that's his move. He scores again!
Same goal, same shooter, Grady Andrews. pressing from behind the cage. You'll see it here on the replay. Caleb Fritz on defense, gets right by him, right up past GLE and fires it into the back of the net. There's a young man that is looking to keep the Vikings in the fight as they now trail by 8, 13-5 with under 2 left to play in the half.
Same play, same result, and a timeout called by ANACORTES as they have answered with an array of goals to make it an 8-goal deficit as they look to battle back. And it seems chalk almost when you have SELAH and their goal-scoring threats. Blake Flowers with 47 goals leading all scorers. Samuel Fredrickson with 45 coming in. He only has 1 goal today, up his count to 46. But Grady Andrews, breakout scorer so far. And sometimes it's not necessarily the leading scorer that tends to be the player that makes the largest impact. And so far, we've seen that from Grady Andrews.
Yeah, 100%. He's just doing a good job at playing a point guard, if you will, type position from X, looking for that open man. And when it's not there, knowing when to take the shot himself, he's been able to make him pay 3 times today.
So what is going on through the ANACORTES huddle as we see to our left?
Got to keep possession. That's that's how they ran the first quarter. They controlled the entire 12 minutes of keeping possession away from SELAH. So they need to do that again. Get back to winning faceoffs and keep possession away from these SELAH attackmen, like Grady Andrews.
Just as the like. So here's the faceoff between the freshman Mason Snyder for ANACORTES. This in a 13-5 game. And ANACORTES win a faceoff. The answer is a resounding yes.
Yeah, kick out to the wing, Brendan Cutter.
So here is Logan Whitten. The entry
bounced it to the top, now back to X.
Smale dealt for Connor Snyder. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Connor Snyder to Mason Snyder. In front, Smale. What a stop on the effort by Melton. And possession headed SELAH's way.
That was a good setup there by ANACORTES, trying to get the 3-man around it. Tic-tac-toe, and Melton just comes out and saves. Puts a big body on it. And now we're going the other way with the Vikings across midfield.
So here comes SELAH with Samuel Fredrickson. He turns, dishes to the top. Grady Andrews, this time from the point. He surveys towards the right wing side. With a step, Blake Flowers turns, fires and scores! Blake Flowers! And another goal for SELAH.
Wow, what a shot. He had some range there, going around to the far left side and left-handed. Bounces one into the back of the net, thereby narrowing the lead now, 13-6.
4 straight from SELAH with a minute remaining in the first half. What response, and SELAH wins another face-off. Here comes Ziegler down the lane, a shot that's overcooked by Flowers. Possession awarded for ANACORTES. This is Jack Ward. Attempted a pass, finned on it. And a timeout called on the part of SELAH.
ANACORTES gets the timeout.
ANACORTES calls the timeout. As we have under a minute to go in half number 1. Tama Lacrosse is proud to be the premier lacrosse store of the Northwest. You can find everything from helmets to stringing services at our Kirkland location or perhaps at a tournament near you. Come see one of our experts today and stay protected in all the latest styles. Stay fresh with Tama Lacrosse.
And Valor Thread Company. Valor Thread Company specializes in customized apparel and branded team gear for schools, clubs, and athletes. From custom apparel featuring team logos or lacrosse gear and professional head stringing services, Valor delivers high-quality products designed for performance and style. Learn more at valorthreadcompany.com.
Special thank you to Tom Lacrosse and Valor Thread. It takes a lot to make games like these possible throughout the season. Things all instigated on March the 1st, and it has come to this. Championship Saturday. It's been a wonderful day of lacrosse already. We detail plenty of those results, including an overtime victory from SELAH Prep this morning over Bellevue.
Emmett Johnston running through a wrap check, now across midfield, one defender in front.
Johnston anchored from the right wing side, with play halted, and possession awarded for SELAH.
Looked like an offsides called against ANACORTES, and SELAH will take possession. Now across midfield, they're coming back the other way. Vikings right inside.
Here's a shot overcooked wide on the try that came from the right wing.
Wide the cage, however, standing strong in the backfield, Grady Andrews, as he does. Here he is on approach once again.
Andrews turns, pivots in front, and scores again! Grady Andrews!
He knew exactly what he was doing, taking that defender inboard so he could have the closer side of the crease. You'll see it here. Grady Andrews puts it on Fritz, tooks him back, and booyah, right to the inside. He scores. And right now, Grady Andrews, that's his 4th or 5th goal.
He's got 5.
That's a 5-piece for Grady Andrews.
And that's 5 in a row for SELAH.
5 unanswered goals for the Vikings, looking to make a comeback here. We're down by 10, now just 6. With under a minute, we're down to seconds here in the first half.
As much as 11 they trailed. All of a sudden, trim the deficit. Loose on the deck before it can be vultured away by Mason Snyder in the closing seconds of the first half. Snyder got a step, pivots through the inside, lost the handle, scooped up in the end by Fredrickson, and that's the way the first half comes to a close. ANACORTES jumps out to an 11-goal lead. SELAH has scored 5 straight, brings us to halftime. We'll take a break. The second half is soon to follow on STSPN in just a moment.
Probably just sit up here until this side. There's nobody. They're kind of every time out of it. Great for now. You want to break on this one, or you want to do it?
From behind the net. From the left side. Drifting in front. Score! Grady Andrews. SELAH on the scoreboard. From in behind. Flowers centers in front. And what a save made on the effort by Hawkinson. And the rebound stashed in. Side for Blake Flowers. Grady Andrews from behind the net. To the top. One-timer score! Sam Fredrickson. Smale. Drifts. Center. Score! Emmett Johnston. His second goal of the game.
Setting up the offense for the Seahawks.
Smale. Centering pass. They score! Mason Snyder, the freshman, with a hat trick. Smale delivers the mail to the top. Emmett Johnston scores!
Emmett Johnston.
Without the support from their community. Heavy check that leads to him from behind the net. Left wing side. For Connor Snyder. Shot, they score! This time it's Smale. Caleb Smale on the tally. Brendan Cutter in alone. Oh, what a stop on the effort. On the try that came. Another shot, they score! Follow-up chance from Emmett Johnston. Dealt towards the left side. Down low, a shot, they score! Connor Snyder.
Connor Snyder from the near.
Mason Snyder turns, fires! Defended well on the deck, they score! Connor Snyder with his second.
Snyder.
The top. Emmett Johnston spins, pivots inside, shoots and scores! What a goal from Emmett Johnston! His fifth of the game! Cutter behind the net, in front, they score! Matthew Lewis with his first goal in the state championship. It's SELAH. From behind the net, they score! What a shot that came from Grady Andrews, who has his second.
Off to Grady Andrews, who's now traveling back behind the cage. He'll pressure.
Andrews, that's his move. He scores again!
Same goal.
Side. With a step, Blake Flowers turns, fires, and scores! Blake Flowers! And another goal for SELAH.
Standing strong in the backfield, Grady Andrews, as he does. Here he is on approach once again.
Andrews turns, pivots in front, and scores again! Grady Andrews!
He knew
weave his way all the way low to low and deliver.
At the half, ANACORTES with a 13-7 lead on SELAH, as we're moments away from starting half number 2 in the 2A state championship. Do want to take the time to thank a few of our proud partners. Tom Lacrosse, proud to be a premier lacrosse store of the Northwest. You can find everything from helmets to stringing services at our Kirkland location or perhaps at a tournament near you. Come see one of our best experts today to stay protected in all of their latest styles. Stay fresh with Tom Lacrosse. And Valor Thread. Valor Thread Company specializes in customized apparel and branded team gear for schools, clubs, and athletes. From custom apparel featuring team logos to lacrosse gear and professional head stringing services. Valor delivers high-quality products designed for performance and style. Learn more at valorthreadcompany.com. Danny Bach joined alongside Tim Luce here from Starfire Sports Complex as we are set to go for half number 2 between ANACORTES and SELAH. And Tim, what are you expecting from SELAH after they built some life late in the first half?
Well, I was able to catch up with a couple of players here on the sideline. And they just want to harness the momentum that they started this game from. They said that they started out with a ton of intensity, and they were able to bring the speed and ball movement that they were hoping to do, but they want to re-grab that and bring it back to light here in the third.
Off we go in the second half. Mason Snyder in the dross, and he's able to win the faceoff cleanly for ANACORTES on the entry. Dealt for Loden Witten. ANACORTES team forged 5 seasons ago. And they have the chance to play in the state championship. Smale dealt towards the left wing side. Fired shot, they score from downtown, Emmett Johnston.
I was able to catch up with that young man at the half as well. Emmett Johnston, that's his 6th goal of the competition, was able to catch up with him. He says, we've just got to take it one goal, one play at a time, and that's exactly what he did right here as ANACORTES puts one more on the board. 14-7, they lead over SELAH early in the second half.
Got to see the goal from Grady Andrews just now, but ANACORTES doubling up the lead on SELAH. Critical face-off win for Ian Ziegler. As SELAH looks to garner on the entry. From the right wing side, here's a surveyed optic from Blake Flowers. From behind the net, Flowers exchanges places with Onika. Flowers has time. Barks directions for Tanner Onika. Flowers escorted out high. Through traffic. Chance that was beamed wide. Grady Andrews was in the vicinity to keep possession installed for SELAH. Left wing, Andrews turns, drives, and able to score! What an effort from Grady Andrews.
Grady Andrews presses crease, jumps up 2 to 3 feet to get over his defender to bounce that one into the back of the net. This young man is determined to keep this SELAH offense in the game.
What an impressive play. Andrews diving while shooting. Able to keep his feet a bridge from the crease. And SELAH counters when they needed it most. Half the drug, quickly won on the part of Ian Ziegler. As SELAH navigates again with Blake Flowers. Anchored wide towards the right wing. Got Onika behind the net if he wishes. Here's Blake Flowers. Drifts, turns, Zoomed one out high. To the top. One-timer shot. Sizzled wide on the try from Fredrickson. Established in play by Tanner Onika. Behind. Goal line extended. Ellis. He surveys. Samuel Fredrickson turns. Fredrickson in front. Not a chance missed on the effort from Grady Andrews. ANACORTES looks to break out. In comes Loden Witten to the front. Claimed on the deck. A shot missed on the try that came from Loden Witten. Established possession stays with ANACORTES. Connor Snyder. This is Smale who dishes to the top. Garrison Kotchel. Pull to the cross. Brendan Cutter sets up out wide Emmett Johnston. As Johnston awaits. From behind the net, Connor Snyder. Fed it out wide for Caleb Smale. Not in a hurry. Dealt it in behind him for Connor Snyder again. Got Kotchel breaking to the top. Retrieving the pass. Here's Emmett Johnston. Out wide to the right wing. Brendan Cutter. From behind the net. Smale. Connor Snyder awaits. Return of feed for Smale. Out wide again for Connor Snyder to the top for Garrison Kotchel. Emmett Johnston. Brendan Cutter from behind the net. Smale delivers across. Connor Snyder retreats. Out low behind the goal line. Out high. Where it can be surveyed by Connor Snyder. From behind the net. Look at the patience from ANACORTES on their offense, leading by 6. Smale again. Delivers. Connor Snyder fakes the pass again to Smale. He awaits. Connor Snyder again to Smale. Awaiting Mason Snyder. Brendan Cutter to the top. Emmett Johnston spins, turns, rifles wide to the left. Possession remains with ANACORTES. With Mason Snyder. Great pressure from ANACORTES. A spin move. Mason Snyder kicked it. Connor Snyder. Back to his brother. Off his stick. Smale, an effort behind the net. Possession awarded to SELAH.
Snyder was able to tip that one out of bounds as he was trying to get it back in play, but SELAH able to take possession and quickly in trouble, and this one looks to be turned over. No, they're able to recover.
Still on the deck, but SELAH able to come away unscathed. Grady Andrews towards the left wing side. What a stride from Ellis. Dealt for Tanner Onika from the left wing. Now to the top for Ellis again. To the top. Ziegler out wide. Waiting is Samuel Fredrickson as he overlooks the scene. He drifts, in turns, pulled it across, out of the reach of Ziegler. In towards the neutral zone. And Levi Lynch was in to defend. Possession awarded to ANACORTES.
The over and back called against SELAH. ANACORTES takes possession. Emmett Johnston leisurely steps in the box and passes it down to X now.
At X is Caleb Smale. Hoping to find the open crack. SELAH defense. Smale delivers to Connor Snyder. Out high. Shot through traffic that came from Mason Snyder. Descends out of play. Still ANACORTES possession.
Just wide the cage on that shot. Out of bounds and well backed up by ANACORTES. Now on approach from the top.
Here's Mason Snyder. Dealt for his brother Connor. Caleb Smale. Sent a pass wide to the left. Mason Snyder. Emmett Johnston. He's been on a heater today with 6 goals already in the contest. Johnston turns and retreats against Levi Lynch, and a shot that was sent out of play.
That roll to the near side had his defender trying to gather his footing there. He had the extra step, just a little wide the cage on the take.
Credit Levi Lynch defending for SELAH on that effort. Here's Mason Snyder to the top for Brendan Cutter. Obliging on the pass, Emmett Johnston. Emmett Johnston sailed one up high and out of play. Still ANACORTES possession with 5:10 to go in the third quarter.
It's going to be really hard for SELAH to win a chase when ANACORTES keeps 2 men posted.
Time of possession heavily tilted towards ANACORTES. Here's Emmett Johnston, now wide for Brendan Cutter. Smale again. Working on the as that X. Johnston to Smale again, in front, missed on the try. Still on the deck, picked up by Mason Snyder. Able to evade his defenders, that being Anthony Ellis. Brendan Cutter took a tumble on the play. He accepts the pass, delivers to Smale from behind the goal line. Brendan Cutter out high for Emmett Johnston. Left one for Mason Snyder. To the top, Johnston fires off the goalpost and out of play.
No looker pass from the X up to Johnston at the top. Tries to let that one fly. Netminder got a piece of it, but yeah, crossbar deflected that one out of bounds.
To the top for Mason Snyder. Out high for Emmett Johnston. Starter step, shoots and scores! Emmett Johnston again! That's his 7th goal of the game.
And a 7-pack for the junior Emmett Johnson. Wow. What a shot there, stepping in and finding the right side open in the net.
Quite the shot from Emmett Johnston. He has been having his way up to this point. But a 15-8 game. Off the face-off, possession favors SELAH.
A little excited at the dot is Snyder, and SELAH will take possession.
As they enter in, here's Samuel Fredrickson. Out to the top, Ian Ziegler. Sent out high for Blake Flowers. From the right wing. As he pivots, Flowers found the side of the net.
Mongol side of the net with the question mark. Blake Flowers near side. Very low angle, and he gets the side of the net. Flowers and his recovery.
To the outside. Surveyed upon by Ziegler. As he has time to work with. Out towards the left wing. Samuel Fredrickson. Pivoting against Brendan Cutter. Fredrickson turns. Negotiating through the inside. And scoring. Samuel Fredrickson. He's got his 2nd of the game.
Fredrickson dancing his way to the crease. Lets a low roller on the turf get past the netminder and scores. 15-9. ANACORTES continues to lead here. 2:53 left to go in the third.
Critically needed for SELAH. And time very much a factor. 2:58 remaining. Late into the face-off circle. It's Ian Ziegler for the draw. The faithful that made the trek across Snoqualmie Pass, hoping to spur their team onto a push. Off the loose ball, it's still in play. Picked up by Ziegler. Out wide towards the right wing. Blake Flowers. Looks to negotiate his way towards the right wing. As Flowers awaits.
Flowers near side. He's got Fritz in front.
Flowers. Pivoting against Caleb Fritz. Looking for support. Looks to do it himself.
Blows
Flowers
through the screen.
still along the right wing side. To the top. Ellis turns and waits. Anthony Ellis. Out again wide to the right for Blake Flowers. Ellis off the return feed. Fredrickson. Under 2 minutes to go in the third. Fires, scores! What a goal from Samuel Fredrickson.
Samuel Fredrickson with a hop and a skip, putting that ball in the back of the net. And it's a 5-point game. This game was originally trailing. SELAH was trailing by 11 at one point. Now just a 5-point game with plenty of time left to go.
Hat-trick goal for Samuel Fredrickson. And all of a sudden, this at one point was an 11-2 lead. 13-2, beg your pardon. And all of a sudden, SELAH has rallied back and they've won the face-off again. Off the face-off win from Ziegler, SELAH enters in with Blake Flowers as he looks to anchor to his X-Man in Grady Andrews. Grady Andrews out high, a shot, score! Tanner Onika!
Tanner Onika patiently waiting for the feed, and he gets it from, Grady Andrews gives him the feed, and he bangs it in the back of the net. Quick stick, quick feed, and a quick goal, and it's now a 4-point game as SELAH has really turned things on here in the second half.
Ever since it was a 13-2 lead for ANACORTES, SELAH has outscored the Seahawks by a count of 9-2. We have 1:35 to go in the third. Off the face-off. Look at the effort instigated by SELAH. Still loose on the deck before it can be vultured up by Loden Witten. Remember, with how heavily ANACORTES has had time of possession throughout the first half, but the deficit down to 4. Boy, could they afford a goal at this point. Here's Emmett Johnston again. Smale from behind the net. SELAH in desperate need of a stop. We have negotiated our way underneath a minute to go in the third quarter. From behind the net, Smale carries towards the right wing corner. Springing loose out wide was Connor Snyder. Out to Brother Mason. Loden Witten. Witten obliges on the pass towards the right wing. Emmett Johnston with 7 goals in the game. Off of Witten on the deck. Finally picked up, not quite by SELAH. Maintained by ANACORTES. Connor Snyder. Smale delivers the mail to Johnston to bring the third quarter to a close. ANACORTES with a 15-11 lead, but SELAH has been mounting a rally. 12 minutes to decide a 2A state champion on STSPN after this. We wouldn't happen to have a spare water by any stretch? We start the fourth quarter from Starfire Stadium. You want to thank Valor Thread for their proud support. Valor Thread Company specializes in customized apparel and branded team gear for schools and clubs and athletes. Custom apparel featuring team logos to lacrosse gear and professional head straightening services. Valor delivers high-quality products designed for performance and style. Learn more at valorthreadcompany.com. 12 minutes on the clock to decide a champion at 2A classification. Both schools have not won a 2A title. But 12 minutes to decide who will etch their name amongst the likes of Bainbridge and many others. Off we go in the fourth quarter. And face-off won by SELAH. In they come with Blake Flowers. This is a SELAH team that has spent most of their time during the regular season against 4A opponents with not many teams within their geographical range. Flowers drifts to the top over the head of Trevor Park onto the deck, and possession awarded for ANACORTES. Here's Emma Johnston on the entry. This is an ANACORTES team. It's played with plenty of speed up to this stage as they look to close in on a state championship. Smale dealt for Connor Snyder. Smale again. Kicked out wide to the right for Brendan Cutter. Cutter again. Smale awaits. Here's Connor Snyder. Launched to the top. Harnessed right wing. Mason Snyder. Cutter to Smale again. Accepting the pass, Connor Snyder. Kochel. Waiting is Emmett Johnston, who turns. Fakes. Out wide to the right, Brendan Cutter. Back for Emmett Johnston again. This is an ANACORTES team with plenty of time to work with, nursing a 4-goal lead. Johnston continues to buy time across for Mason Snyder. Dealt for Johnston. The Navy midshipman to come. Behind the net for Caleb Smale. Centering pass, Johnston reversed one behind the goal.
Sends a BTB sailing wide the cage. Well backed up there by Brendan Cutter. Yeah, the message from the ANACORTES sideline was get a lockdown on that number 26 kid, Sam Fredrickson, because he had a heck of a third quarter for SELAH, and looking to not let that happen here in the fourth.
Well, that number 26 kid has a hat trick up to this point, and he's one of the many threats for Josh Davenport's side. Out high from the right wing, dealt down low from behind the net, surveyed left wing side for Connor Snyder, regarnered by Garrison Gottschall. Here's Connor Snyder. Dealt from behind the net, Smale again for Connor Snyder. With ANACORTES playing keep away. Mason Snyder to Garrison Gottschall again. Johnston pivots against Trevor Park. Smale from behind the net. Johnston fakes, checked on the play by Park. Johnston stays on his feet. Brendan Cutter. Mason Snyder quickly for Connor Snyder. Brother-to-brother connection to the younger Snyder in Mason. Across for Connor Snyder. Smale from behind the net. Wheels towards the left wing.
If SELAH can work it, or excuse me, yeah, if ANACORTES can work it, Emmett is drawing the double team every time he gets possession.
Here he is again.
And
There's the
the
double
second.
team. Johnston towards back of the net. Smale turns. Surveyed upon by Snyder. Connor Snyder dealt out wide. Here's a shot. Johnston is stopped by Melton. Still available before Johnston with partial slash. A corresponding jab leads to Johnson to retain possession for ANACORTES.
I have no idea how he was able to scoop that ground ball. His cross must be magnetic with this ball. Scooped up, twirled around, and maintains possession for ANACORTES.
Tick, tick, tick with 7:33 to go. Out wide to the right, Brendan Cutter sets up Garrison Kochel. Here's Mason Snyder, left wing. Caleb Smale. They've set up Johnston behind the net. That's a smart decision from head coach Brady Turnage to negate the double team. Cutter for Kochel. Mason Snyder. Drifting. Here comes a shot. And looking behind the net was Melton before he's able to cover. Seth Melton, the goaltender for SELAH. Possession desperately needed on the part of the SELAH side. And a timeout is called with 6:41 to go. Timeout, head coach Josh Davenport in SELAH. And it's an incredible story for this SELAH team and the dedication that's put in. Head coach Josh Davenport at the helm for SELAH. You talk about sacrifice. He said leading into this game he wanted this championship win for his players. But you talk about sacrifice that Josh Davenport, the head coach for SELAH, puts in. How about his wife in Josie, where he sees her husband Josh travel an hour every day for practices. It's an hour commute to go to SELAH from where Josh is. So to see that commitment goes a long way into forging a program. And Tim, when you talk about traveling an hour for practice every day, that's dedication unlike any other.
Yeah, you know, we're doing it just to be here today. Everybody in the house drove more than an hour just to be here to make sure that the world gets to see what happens in Washington State 2A lacrosse. Right now, SELAH and ANACORTES, 6:41 from finishing. The message here from the ANACORTES sideline is we've got to get our clears down, make sure that the ball is going in the right place. We cannot go over and back anymore. That's the difference in being down by 4 in a closer game.
Face-offs key down the stretch, obviously. Remember, SELAH has possession. Can they go on a run? They have outscored ANACORTES 9-2. That's the run they're on as they're in again, SELAH. ANACORTES has played more of a possession-oriented game. Here's Grady Andrews as he works from the top.
Andrews has been lethal from behind the cage today. Let's see how he does in front.
Does he do it again? He lost his balance. Able to escort a shot while
he's got the
off
and
his
one.
knees.
Flag flies on the right side GLE. So right now a free play for SELAH as they'll get possession back. Sam Fredrickson near side looking to get his hands free.
Fredrickson with the spin move. Cuts inside. Sam Fredrickson scores! What a shot from Samuel Fredrickson. He's got his fourth. And look out here. It's a 3-goal game.
That's exactly the message from the ANACORTES sideline coming into this quarter was we have got to stop that Sam Fredrickson. And Sam Fredrickson says, try it. Try it.
He has not stopped. Boy, what a comeback this would be. You talk about falling short last year against Bainbridge in a game that got away from them from the jump. But in this case, it's been neck and neck. A deficit is 3. Face-off's important. Won by ANACORTES. It's Brendan Cutter. Came away with the loose change. John Harris on the entry.
I thought we were going to be looking at running clock from the beginning of this game. We've got a close one now.
Emmett Johnson parks behind the net. And for SELAH, you have to wonder when they start to ramp up the physicality. Connor Snyder turns and scores! Connor Snyder! He's got a hat trick in the state championship.
Connor Snyder, point leader so far, right up there with Emmett Johnston. Snyder, however, a freshman.
A direct path to the net for Connor Snyder. You have that age gap. And the lead extended for ANACORTES.
I got the wrong brother. That one's a junior. Connor's the junior.
Lead 4 for ANACORTES. Off the faceoff, another win. Brendan Cutter. Possession so critical for ANACORTES. They have it yet again. Cutter against the grain from Ziegler. Patrolled by Smale. Dealt for Connor Snyder. Here's Brendan Cutter yet again. Loden Witten joins the rush. Out wide to the right. Under 5 minutes to go in the 2A state championship. Smale. Wide pass. Missed on the try that came from Mason Snyder.
Snyder unleashes a rocket. That one too tall. Well backed up.
Wide to the left from Mason Snyder. Obliging on the pass, Loden Witten. Snyder, Mason Snyder across from Connor Snyder. This is out of Caleb Smale. Retreating against Tyler Huffines. Emmett Johnston. 4:15 to go in the fourth. Johnston through traffic. Here's a shot that's missed on the try by Connor Snyder. And boy, did he want that effort.
Iron saves the goal.
Here's Mason Snyder. Return to feed. Mason Snyder has it yet again with 4 minutes remaining in the fourth. Here's Brendan Cutter. Smale patrols behind the net. Now wide for Loden Witten again. Caleb Smale looks to deliver the mail. Smale turns. Lost the handle before off the ground ball. That is eventually scooped up by SELAH, not quite until now. Melton sends deep in the range of Asher Myers. Another steal from ANACORTES. In comes Loden Witten. Kicked out wide to the top. Here is Emmett Johnston with 3:10 to go in the state championship.
Taking his sweet time because he's got a lead of 4. If SELAH's not going to press him on the outside, he's going to hold the rock all day.
You talk about what head coach Brady Turnage has installed with this ANACORTES team. He said that he has worked them very hard, asked a lot out of his ANACORTES group. All started 5 seasons ago. Turnage very demanding of his ANACORTES team, on the verge of being rewarded with his son Aiden that graduated last year, 4 years of the program, now serving as an assistant coach, something that he built, slowly turning into a permanent legacy. Loden Witten dealt for Connor Snyder. Field wide pass, they score! Brendan Cutter! His first in the state championship has ANACORTES knocking on the door of a title.
Brendan Cutter, the senior offensive captain, now nursing what looks to be a cramp as he got airborne a little bit for that one, sneaking one in the back of the net there. And ANACORTES maintains their lead.
Head coach Brady Turnage comes in to tend to Brendan Cutter. Only his 9th goal of the season. One to remember. As he is up to his feet, thanks to the training staff. Ryan Jager able to help. So lead up to 5 with 2:03 to go. The faithful that have made their way to ANACORTES, they got to see as they left their city quite the support from the group back home. And Coach Brady Turnage says this would not be made possible without the great support from the people of ANACORTES, the families. The response has been tremendous. A timeout called with 1:35 to go.
Mason Snyder hits a trail check and able to pick up possession just before the timeout called in favor of ANACORTES, setting up a power move with 95 seconds left here in the 2A state championship.
But you talk about, when you think about winning a championship, the players, so many of them, Emmett Johnston, who was highlighted in the first half, Tim, and then you had the Snyder brothers also putting on one heck of a display. But it's the people of ANACORTES, the family base. They had a send-off this morning, a warm reception, and that's certainly an example of what this community in ANACORTES is all about.
Absolutely. You got to love a whole town that gets behind their team. They have been prevalent all game long in the stands, chanting Seahawks, standing behind their team. ANACORTES, they are behind these Seahawks all the way.
With 1:39 on the clock, ANACORTES begins to sense a 5-year plan and is on the verge of reaching its highest step. Jack Ward sent one across for Loden Witten, a team what might be said to be a small roster. They have made the loudest impact. Heading towards the left wing side, Emmett Johnston. Angled by Park. Johnston turns, sails one well over the net. And Caleb Smale, nearest one in the vicinity. Drifting from behind the net, Smale awaits. 70 seconds to work with. He drifts. Worked out to the top for Brendan Cutter, who's back in the game. He
Yard
lost
sale.
his stick. SELAH evades in the final minute. Sent
Wisely, a timeout gets called for SELAH when the clock hits just at a minute. As soon as they gain possession, they want to get their offense figured out and try to get as many goals as they can in the last minute.
Head coach Brady Turnage said before the game what he expects out of his ANACORTES team is to be ready, to be prepared, and to execute. Tim, they've done that here today.
Yeah, they absolutely have. Showed up and showed out. Kind of laid down a little bit here in the second half. If not, then SELAH has just really turned it up here in the second half, and I'm willing to bet it's the latter.
And if there is one word that can define this ANACORTES team, especially from their head coach, the word tough certainly speaks volumes to what this Seahawks group is all about.
Oh, yeah, you got to give it to a team making it all the way to the 2A state championship with just 16 guys on roster. And if you've played any sport, it's always hard to get 100% turnout at your events or practices. So 16 guys on roster, these guys are putting in the work Ironman style tonight over SELAH.
For SELAH, they get to see Their lacrosse team play in the state championship. Also, their baseball team is headed to the state semifinals with a win over Othello by the count of 8-7. So, a lot of optimism across the Snoqualmie pass. Here comes SELAH in the final minute. Grady Andrews fires and scores. Grady Andrews has his 6th goal of the game.
I have to imagine that's what was drawn up during the timeout. Let's pull the ball far side, leave Grady Andrews open on the right side alley, and he just couldn't be stopped today. 6 goals in this competition, and now his team within 4.
In the final minute. What a showing. All across the grid on a well-played game. Off the loose ground ball. Secured in the end by Fredrickson, not quite. Still on the deck. Johnston, cross-check from the play, swatted along by Ziegler.
Failure to advance called.
Possession to ANACORTES as they wind their way towards the finish. Here's Jack Ward. And a steal. Grady Andrews up towards the left side. Fredrickson turns and scores. Samuel Fredrickson has 5 goals in the game.
Yeah, and this one is not going to finish until the fat lady sings. Guys, we're down into the seconds. The time is kept on the table and on the field. We don't know exactly how much time we got left, but we know it's getting down to it. And SELAH not quitting whatsoever.
Mason Snyder in on the draw. ANACORTES against Ian Ziegler on the deck. Ziegler wins it. Fredrickson looks to carry the cause along. Scooped up by Emmett Johnston. Still out towards the left wing side. Moved across. It's over. For the first time in program history, the ANACORTES Seahawks soar to a 2A state championship. What a moment for the ANACORTES Seahawks and their community as they come away with their first state championship after their program gave birth 5 seasons ago on what is a family affair for the Turnage family. Head coach Brady winning the title, and with his son Aiden as an assistant. What a story. The goal-scoring leader, Emmett Johnston, with 7 goals in the game. One of the standout stars for ANACORTES in the victory. As we see the celebration on the victorious ANACORTES side. As we head down onto the field, here is Tim Luce with Emmett Johnston.
I am here with a very emotional game MVP, Emmett Johnson. Johnston taking his team to victory here, 6 goals tonight. Emmett, what is so special about this team?
Dude, I mean, we weren't even going to have a team. It's just everything we're so grateful for. We worked our asses off all season. We're so grateful for all these guys. We got 16 people, but we work our ass off all year. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Iron Man lacrosse. These young men came out here with 16 guys on the field and took the 2A state championships tonight. 6 goals at attack. What's next?
You know, just a big summer. I'm just proud of all these guys, though. I mean, they worked their tails off, and I'm so excited for next year when we run that shit back. Let's go.
Absolutely. Sights set on the 2027 season. You heard it from this man right here. Tonight's game MVP, Emmett Johnston, the All-American out of ANACORTES, moving on to the United States Navy. Yes, congratulations on taking the victory today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emmett Johnston. So it's ANACORTES coming away with a win. How about 7 goals from the future Navy midshipman? Able to carry the way for ANACORTES to come away with the victory. It goes back to what we talked about from the beginning. Head coach Brady Turnage, where his son Aiden, 4 years in the program, his first year as an assistant, he wins a championship, and his son, his younger son, is going to be a freshman next season. So it's certainly a Turnage family affair. Speaking of head coach Brady Turnage, let's head back to Tim Luce, who is with the victorious head coach.
I am here with tonight's 2A state champion head coach Brady. What can we say about this team that hasn't already been said? How special is this group?
They spoke on the field. We have 15 kids on our roster. We got some young guys. We got some boys who've never played, and they spoke on the field. We told them just to play as hard as they could possibly play for as long as the rest would let us play. Is a very competitive team. They competed their butts off. We knew they would. That's who they are. They did a great job. But our boys are just tough. They're just emotionally, physically, and mentally tough. They did a great job.
100%. I couldn't agree more. I've said it all game long. Iron Man Lacrosse is what you guys are bringing out of ANACORTES, and it showed today. Come behind, SELAH was trying to take it back from you. What was the message throughout this game to keep your team on top?
You know, we go into the half up 6 goals, and the guys are a little tight. SELAH's played well at the end of the second quarter, and we kind of had to remind them, like, hey, guys, it's halftime of a state championship game. You're up by 6 goals. So let's just take a couple deep breaths here, talk about a couple things, and then just go play. And they were able to do that in the second half.
Absolutely. A very proud head coach here, the 2A state champions, ANACORTES Seahawks. Coach, they're waiting for you out there to take your picture and accept your trophy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brady Turnage and Tim Luce. Victorious head coach joins the party. The victorious team picture. Look at him relax his way, and boy, it was not a relaxing cause to get there. For head coach Brady Turnage, his ANACORTES Seahawks rewarded with a state championship. Who's better fitting to lift the trophy? Emmett Johnston, our game MVP of today's game, with 7 goals in the win. ANACORTES winds our way towards the finish on an incredible season. It all began on March the 1st, capped off with a championship here today on an evening where we have crowned 4 state champions. It's time to wind our way towards the finish. Special thank you to everyone who makes this broadcast possible here this evening. From Scott Osman to Eric Briggs, to Sarah Elvig, Josh Robinson, Todd Elvig, and for Tim Luce. I'm Danny Box saying so long and take care, and thanks for being a part of the state championships here on STSPN. Your final score in the 2A championship, ANACORTES 17, SELAH 14. We'll see you next time on STSPN.